general lighting loads by occupancy table in NEC 220.3 is derived for incandescent filament lamps. The power factor used in the table is 0.85 lagging. This power factor represents the typical power factor of incandescent filament lamps. If fluorescent luminaires with individual power factor correction are used, the corrected power factor of 0.95 should be used in load estimation. Here's why. Power factor correction reduces the reactive power consumption of the luminaires, thereby increasing the true, real, power available to the lighting system. Using the original power factor of 0.5 or an average value of 0.7 would result in an underestimation of the actual load. Therefore, when using fluorescent luminaires with individual power factor correction, it is crucial to use the corrected power factor of 0.95 to ensure accurate load estimation and proper circuit design. Understanding power factor is essential for efficient electrical system design. Power factor is the ratio of real power, measured in kilowatts, to apparent power, measured in kilovolt-amps. It represents how effectively electrical power is being used. A power factor of 1.0 or unity indicates that all the power supplied is being used to perform useful work. A power factor less than 1.0 indicates that some of the power is reactive and not contributing to the work being done. This reactive power circulates in the system, increasing current flow and losses. Incandescent lamps, which are the basis for the NEC table 220.3, have a power factor close to unity, around 1.0. This is because they primarily exhibit resistive characteristics. The current and voltage are in phase, meaning the power is consumed directly without any phase shift. Fluorescent lamps, on the other hand, have a power factor that is typically less than 1.0, often around 0.5 to 0.6 without power factor correction. This is because they use a ballast to start and regulate the current flow through the lamp. The ballast introduces inductive reactance into the circuit, causing the current to lag behind the voltage. This lagging current creates reactive power, which does not contribute to lighting but still flows through the wires, increasing the overall current and losses in the system. Power factor correction is the process of improving the power factor of an electrical system. This is typically done by adding capacitors in parallel with the inductive load, such as the fluorescent lamp ballast. The capacitors provide capacitive reactance, which offsets the inductive reactance of the ballast. This brings the current and voltage closer to being in phase, increasing the power factor. When fluorescent luminaires are equipped with individual power factor correction, the power factor is typically corrected to 0.9 or higher, often around 0.95. This means that the reactive power is significantly reduced and the system operates more efficiently. When performing load calculations for electrical systems that include fluorescent luminaires with individual power factor correction, it is important to use the corrected power factor, which is 0.95 in the example provided, rather than the uncorrected power factor, which is around 0.5, or an average value like 0.7. Using the uncorrected power factor would overestimate the amount of current that the luminaires will draw, leading to oversizing of the circuit conductors and protective devices, such as circuit breakers. Using the corrected power factor provides a more accurate representation of the actual current draw and allows for more efficient and cost-effective circuit design. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating lighting loads and for applying demand factors to those loads. These guidelines are intended to ensure that electrical systems are designed to safely and reliably supply the connected loads. When calculating lighting loads, it is important to consider the type of lighting being used, the power factor of the lighting, and any applicable demand factors. The general lighting loads by occupancy table in NEC 220.3 provides the minimum lighting load requirements for various types of occupancies. These values are based on the assumption that incandescent lighting is being used. If fluorescent lighting is used, the load should be adjusted to account for the power factor of the lighting. The NEC also allows for the application of demand factors to lighting loads. Demand factors are multipliers that are applied to the connected load to account for the fact that not all of the connected loads will be operating at the same time. The demand factors that are permitted vary depending on the type of occupancy and the size of the load. When applying demand factors, it is important to ensure that the resulting load calculation is sufficient to supply the actual load that will be connected to the system. In summary, when dealing with fluorescent luminaires that have individual power factor correction, the corrected power factor, typically around 0.95, should be used for load estimation purposes. This ensures accurate calculations and efficient circuit design. It avoids overestimation of current draw and prevents oversizing of circuit components. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for calculating lighting loads and applying demand factors, and these guidelines should be followed to ensure safe and reliable electrical system design. Power factor correction is an important aspect of electrical system design, particularly when dealing with inductive loads such as fluorescent lighting ballasts. By improving the power factor, the efficiency of the system is increased, losses are reduced, and the overall cost of operation is lowered. It is essential to understand the power factor characteristics of different types of lighting and to apply appropriate correction techniques when necessary. Accurate load estimation is crucial for proper circuit design and ensures that the electrical system can safely and reliably supply the connected loads. Using the correct power factor in load calculations is a fundamental aspect of electrical engineering practice and is essential for ensuring the safety and efficiency of electrical systems. Furthermore, consider the impact of harmonics on power factor. While power factor correction primarily addresses the phase difference between voltage and current, harmonics can also distort the current waveform and contribute to a lower power factor, known as distortion power factor. Electronic ballasts, especially older designs, can introduce significant harmonic currents into the system. These harmonics can cause additional heating in transformers and conductors and can interfere with sensitive electronic equipment. To mitigate the effects of harmonics, harmonic filters can be installed. These filters typically consist of tuned circuits that shunt harmonic currents away from the power system. Modern electronic ballasts are designed to have low total harmonic distortion, typically less than 10%. When selecting fluorescent luminaires, it is important to specify ballasts with low harmonic distortion to minimize the impact in the power system. In addition to individual power factor correction, group power factor correction can be applied at the service entrance or at distribution panels. This involves installing larger capacitor banks to correct the power factor for an entire facility or a significant portion of it. Group power factor correction can be more cost-effective for large installations, but it is important to carefully analyze the load characteristics to determine the optimal size and location of the capacitor banks. The use of energy-efficient lighting technologies such as LED lighting can also improve the overall power factor of an electrical system. LED lighting typically has a higher power factor than fluorescent lighting, even without power factor correction. This is because LED drivers are designed to minimize reactive power consumption. When retrofitting existing fluorescent lighting systems with LED lighting, it is important to consider the power factor characteristics of the new lighting and to adjust the power factor correction as needed. Proper grounding is also essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems that include fluorescent lighting. The grounding system provides a low impedance path for fault currents to flow back to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers and prevent electrical shock hazards. The NEC provides detailed requirements for grounding electrical systems, and these requirements should be followed carefully. In addition, surge protection should be considered for electrical systems that are susceptible to voltage surges caused by lightning or other events. Surge protective devices, SPDs, can protect sensitive electronic equipment from damage caused by voltage surges. SPD should be installed at the service entrance and at distribution panels, and may also be installed at individual equipment locations. When selecting SPD, it is important to consider the surge current rating, the voltage protection rating, and the type of equipment being protected. Regular maintenance is essential for ensuring the continued safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. Maintenance should include visual inspections, testing of circuit breakers and other protective devices, and cleaning of equipment. Any damaged or worn component should be replaced promptly. A qualified electrician should perform maintenance on electrical systems. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest NEC requirements to ensure that electrical systems are designed and installed safely and in accordance with current standards. Continuing education courses and professional development opportunities can help electricians and other electrical professionals stay informed about the latest NEC requirements. In addition to the NEC, other codes and standards may apply to electrical systems, depending on the location and the type of occupancy. These codes and standards may include local building codes, energy codes, and fire codes. It is important to be familiar with all applicable codes and standards when designing and installing electrical systems. The selection of appropriate wiring methods is also crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. The NEC specifies the types of wiring methods that are permitted for different applications. These wiring methods include conduit cable and wireway. The selection of the appropriate wiring method depends on the type of occupancy, the environmental conditions, and the mechanical protection requirements. Proper installation of wiring is also essential. Wiring should be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements and manufacturer's instructions. Wiring should be supported properly and protected from physical damage. Connections should be made securely and insulated properly. Overcurrent protection is a critical safety feature of electrical systems. Overcurrent protective devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current in the event of an overload or short circuit. Overcurrent protective devices should be selected and installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. The ampacity of conductors should be coordinated with the rating of the overcurrent protective devices. Coordination studies should be performed to ensure that overcurrent protective devices will operate properly in the event of a fault. Arc flash is a dangerous electrical hazard that can occur when a short circuit creates a high-energy arc. Arc flash can cause severe burns, blindness, and even death. Arc flash hazard assessment should be performed to determine the potential arc flash hazards in electrical systems. Arc flash protective equipment, such as arc-rated clothing and face shields, should be used when working on or near energized electrical equipment. Electrical safety training is essential for all personnel who work on or near electrical equipment. Training should include instruction on the hazards of electricity, safe work practices, and the use of personal protective equipment. Training should be provided by qualified instructors and should be updated regularly. The design and installation of electrical systems is a complex and challenging task that requires specialized knowledge and skills. Electrical engineers, electricians, and other electrical professionals play a critical role in ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. By following the NEC requirements and best practices, they can help to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity. Finally, it's important to remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving to reflect new technologies and safety concerns. Staying informed about these changes is crucial for anyone involved in the design, installation, or maintenance of electrical systems. Consulting with qualified professionals and participating in continuing education opportunities can help ensure that electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with the latest requirements.